Good evening. I'm Geeta, the founder of Parama Naturals, and your host this evening. A warm welcome to all of you for today's session of Parama Talks, a series of conversations with experts who can help us make more informed choices. These areas have always been of importance, but have now come back into the forefront, thankfully. Most of you have probably experienced that we've always had issues of work life balance. And it is definitely one of the most elusive things that we have had, especially for women when we are looking at so many different roles that we play. The role definitely as an individual, the role of a daughter, of a sister, and very often, additional roles get added to these roles of a parent, of a spouse, of a homemaker, of a professional. And all these things we need to constantly juggle. This evening, I have the pleasure of introducing to you all a person who has been able to perform the balancing act rather well. Dr. Manisha Doikode is a doctor, a clinical geneticist with over 16 plus years of experience. She works and consults with LifeCell, one of the leading companies in genetics diagnostics. She has been a researcher in the field of genetics, a corporate speaker, and more than anything else, she's a fitness enthusiast with several half and full marathons under her belt. Beyond that, she is also a lover of poetry and of writing. And last but not the least, she is a mom of two teenagers. There's over to you, Manisha.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Thank you, Geeta, for this wonderful introduction. Really nice to be here on Parama Naturals. Thank you for coming up with this topic of the balancing act. I tell you, such an important topic, right? Something which each and every one of us has been trying to achieve from the time we started our careers, isn't it? So, looking forward to a nice chat with you today, Geeta, and I hope that we are able to have a nice discussion and I can give a few tips to our listeners today about the balancing act.
Manisha, having seen so much about what all you've been doing the last few years, ever since I've been acquainted with you, I have been absolutely amazed as to how you've been doing the juggling act with your life, career, and you manage and balance these different roles so well, whether it's the parenting and the caregiving role, it's a professional role, and yet you manage your health so well. Could you share some aspects of these things with all our participants here today?
Sure. Slide. So there's a different balance that needs to be maintained at different stages of your life. So when you're newly married, when you have kids like toddlers and you start your career, when you're mid career, when your kids grow up or they get married, you are in senior positions, or when you retire and your kids leave the nest, or when you're single and you have old parents. I had a love marriage. I'm a South Indian and my husband is a Maharashtrian. So I actually had to learn the customs, traditions, lifestyle of the Maharashtrian joint family that I moved into. You know, we are doctors now. We are studying even after we get married. And the same happened with us also. You know, both of us still had to complete our post graduation. In fact, I too did my post graduation in a foreign country when I was pregnant with my first child. But, you know, I read somewhere something that Stephen Hawking said: intelligence and the ability to adapt to change. So, if intelligence is the ability to adapt to change, and that's what exactly what I did. See, I barely knew cooking, you know. So I took up the challenge to learn basic cooking. I would get up early before I left for the clinic and sit down in the kitchen with my mother in law and her mother in law. So I got authentic recipes, which I used to write down. So, sort of, you know, a skills upgrade. And that helped me so much, I tell you. My husband and kids vouch for it. The other thing was, since I was a non-Maharashtrian, you can put down the slide. I had to learn some customs and traditions of the Maharashtrian family, but I never stopped learning. I used to make blunders in the kitchen, yet I would go on learning. My mother-in-law was very nice, and she actually handheld me and taught me some of these customs and traditions, sort of knowledge upgrade, which I used in the later years. After the post graduation, my husband, he finished his registrarship, and then we moved to PCMC for starting our practice over there. So we moved from a joint family into a nuclear family, and I also started my practice in PCMC. There we were closer to our workplace. After, as a clinic, as a private practitioner, you don't have any maternity leave or anything. But what I did was that I took 1 year off after my daughter's birth and 5 months after my son's birth. I think it was important at that time. I realized after my daughter's birth itself, that in the absence of my mother and mother-in-law, I was going to have to develop a support system of my own. See, my advice to you ladies out there is never hesitate to ask for help. You're not a superwoman. I employed maids to do the housework and also to look after my kids. At that time, the sole aim used to be to just earn enough to be able to pay those maids. And my clinic, of course, offered me that much needed me time. At that time, I used to get a little overwhelmed with small kids, the clinic, the home responsibilities, because I had a very niche specialty, genetics. It was not very well known at that point of time. So I would travel, I have to attend conferences, I had to take part in workshops, I had to meet a lot of consultants. But one thing I always did was that in the morning, I would get the kids ready myself and I would chat with them till the time we went to the bus stop. Also, after they came back from school, the maid was instructed that she had to make them call me. That set up a trend that the kids, they felt that mama is just a call away. It was really a big security for them. Sometimes, if it was possible for me, I would come home, just feed them, put them down for a quick nap after I read them a story. I did face some judgment at that time for leaving my kids, with the maids. But I tell you, it's paid off in the long run. My kids are very independent and they became very independent at a young age. When they were young, I used to take them to the garden to play on swings and slides. And you know what I used to do? I would take a brisk walk in the park. That helped with my post pregnancy weight loss. I put on a lot of weight at that time. Later on, of course, I joined a Zumba class also to continue my training. And I got into cross training with the trainer. So I used to go running with her. And that was the beginning of my marathon journey. That's how I started training for marathons. Earlier, in our practice in the early days, it used to be very difficult for us to socialize. We could see our family only on festivals. So I used my knowledge upgrade. What did I do? I started doing small pujas. Some of these customs and traditions are very nice. So I could call my family and my extended family home. So ho gaya, I would be able to see them also. The other thing, what I did? My kids' classmates' moms, I started a kitty group with them. Bishi. So it was like थोड़ा सा इन्वेस्टमेंट भी हो जाता उससे and I got some ready-made friends also. So this age-old practice of Bishi quite helped me out at that time. Now, since the other thing that we did was we made a conscious decision very early that we would stay in gated community. Why? Because I leave my kids with the maids. So I made friends with my neighbors, and to this day I have great neighbors who help me whenever I need their help. The other thing what happened was because I live in the gated community, I was able to pursue some of my interests. I like to write, I like to do poetry, I like to dance, and I started participating in community clubs and the events of the society. See, my husband is very busy, he's a busy gastroenterologist. So, very early in my practice, I took a conscious decision that I would be the one who would not do evening OPD so that and my kids would have at least one parent at home so that I could take them for their classes, like their hobby classes, take up their homework, play with them. I'd seen a lot of my doctor colleagues, couples, so they would be so busy that they had no time for each other, no time for themselves, no time for the kids, no time for the house. I didn't want that. We have a tendency, all of us, that we compare with our peers. But what's the point? I'm telling you, I took a decision to work fixed hours, but I'm very satisfied. I have got a lot of recognition in the genetics field. I made a name for myself. I used to be faculty at Pune University. I've been a research guide. And today my patient base extends to almost the entire Maharashtra. Now, of course, my kids are older. So I'm able to devote more time to work. And now I've taken up a position in a genetic diagnostics company where I work in the evening.
Wow, that's really nice. So it's quite creditable how you've been, changing with the times. But now in recent times, there was this additional challenge of COVID. So how did you really plan your schedule during that time? Because this is a lifelong learning, because I think work from home is here to stay. And in many companies, this has been a shift in the entire regime. So to ensure the physical, mental, and emotional balance, how did you do all that?
God, Geeta, COVID has changed everything, I tell you. In fact, I say it, it's made all of us literally put a break on our lives. Do some serious thinking to actually change the way that we live. Actually, if you ask me, this is a good chance to introspect. Try to get that balance. It's a balance actually between our needs and our wants, really, if you ask me. So, what are your needs? Your needs are very simple. Khana chahiye, you want food in your stomach, you want a roof over your head, and you want clothes on your back, right? Everything else is just a want. But we have become slaves to that want. Don't you agree? Nothing, I'm not judging or anything. Nothing wrong in that. Nothing wrong in wanting to own a Prada or a Jimmy Choo, I would say. So, in the beginning, of the pandemic, we, private practitioners, all doctors, we faced a lot of challenges. It was new. We had very little information, and we had to get used to, the first thing was PPE. At that time, I had a genetic lab. We had 5 employees at that time. And it became our responsibility to actually educate them, to motivate them, to provide them with a safe work environment. My employees, they were discriminated against. They were asked to vacate their rental flats. Why? Because their neighbors, their landlords thought that since they are working in a lab, they're going to bring COVID home and infect everybody. So it was very difficult. So even emotionally, we had to support them. There was no public transport, as you know. So me and my partner, both of us, we arranged pick and drop facility for all our employees. We worked really hard at that time just so that we could pay full salary to our employees throughout the pandemic. See, we are oath bound as doctors, and we are going to treat our patients. But we have families, so we both used to fear for the kids. So when the lockdown happened, we actually sat down as a family and we talked about how are we going to face this challenge. I tell you, communication is the key to any successful relationship. You know, any, not just with your family. So what we did was we didn't know how long the kids were going to be home and we didn't know how long the schools would be shut. So the first thing that I did, I told my kids, set a routine for yourselves. For the both of us, what we did was we made a protocol that as soon as we come into the door, how we are going to remove all the clothes, the footwear, all our personal effects, and then go straight to the shower. And kids were instructed that they are not to touch us till we come out of that shower. You know, each member of the family, then we gave them one chore. And that chore had to be completed in whatever time it was possible for them. Me, of course, I was in charge of cooking, you see, and doing the morning washing of dishes. We are all conditioned. And we are conditioned since the time we are small kids, basically. So now we were all forced to make 360-degree changes, isn't it? A sort of like, a reconditioning, a readaptation. So this routine really helped us to really kickstart that reconditioning. So, what we started doing was in the mornings before the two of us left for work, we started sitting in the balcony and having breakfast together and chatting, venting, whatever it was. We do this even today, actually. Online classes hadn't yet begun for the children. So what I started doing was I started doing, these small do-it-yourself projects. I don't know, you can go to YouTube and see small do-it-yourself projects. So whatever was at home, shops were closed, right? So whatever we found at home, we used to just pick it up And that's how we would spend our time together. Sometimes the kids would watch YouTube videos, and by the time I came back, they would tell me, Mama, this is what we want to do. And we would sit down and make that project. I have beautiful home decor items that I've made with that, do it yourself slide. So many of you don't actually know how long this work from home is going to last. You can put the slide. Add to that, there is job uncertainty and there are work pressures. A friend once told me, see, Manisha, you cannot expect others to change. You cannot expect situations to change. Sometimes you can't even expect yourself to change. But what you can change is how you react to this situation, how you react to the people, how you react to yourself. I use these words, I tell you, every single day. So, one of the first things that you need to do is to let go of the expectations, which is something that I've been doing for many, many years. Trust me, you will save yourself a lot of grief if you do that. See, as women, anyway, we overthink, we overcomplicate everything in our heads. But remember, keeping it all together as a modern woman means multitasking. You want to do your best, but you can only do what you can do, isn't it? But try, don't give up. But don't beat yourself up about it. Picket fence, no. So it's important, therefore, for starters, to set a routine. You can get down the slide. Involve every single household member in that chore. For those who live in nuclear families or for those who are living isolated, the one tip I will tell you, keep your immediate family literally on speed dial. See, all of you are going to spend a whole lot of time together. So you all are going to have to relearn, readapt to your spouse, to your kids, to your in-laws, to your family needs, and yet you're going to be looking after your work challenges also. So I say communicate. Communication is going to be very, very important right now. Otherwise, I'm telling you, you all will be like volcanoes, literally just waiting to erupt with all your emotions. You know, Negativity is no good. I'm telling you personal experience. So try to create a me space and time and an us space and time. So our balcony is our us space. Find a common activity that you all can do together. Whatever you want. It can be anything, not a chore though. So you can sing together, you can share interesting anecdotes together, whatever it is, just spend the time positively. We did DIY projects, right? In your me time though, reconnect with your hobbies, your interests, your girlfriends, even. I'm telling you, that does wonders for your emotional health. See, the world has moved online, right? So you can join classes to pursue your interests and your hobbies. No travel time, also, no, nowadays. It's not too difficult, right? To find 1 hour for yourself thrice a week, not more than that. See, we all like our parlor trips, isn't it? But parlors were closed, ours closed also to a large extent. So pamper yourself at home. Parama Naturals has got fantastic face oils. She has skin care. She has hair care. You name it. Just pick up a bag. I do. I've used all her products and they are top quality.
Wow, thanks so much for such a wonderful endorsement, Manisha. But let's move on to something which is much more relevant here. How does your fitness routine, you were talking about being fit, and how does your fitness routine help you through all this?
Oh, very close to my heart. So health and fitness are actually codependent, on each other. So if you exercise, you remain healthy. And if you remain healthy, you can exercise. Confusing, no? Little bit. But just think about it. See, how many times have you actually just postponed a physical activity? Why? Because knees are hurting, back is hurting, thyroid का ही problem है, period से ही पेट में दर्द. But if you exercise, you can overcome all these problems, isn't it? And if you overcome your problems, you can also exercise. So physical activity, to me, the benefits totally outweigh any of the drawbacks. Also, what happens is with any physical activity, endorphins get released. You know what are endorphins? Nothing but happy hormones, mood elevators, if you please. You feel fresh, you feel rejuvenated when you do physical activity. The other thing, you know what happens? Your blood vessels, they get well oxygenated. Then what happens? Skin starts to glow. But now, when your skin starts to glow, husband would be more than happy, no, to take you on date night, isn't it? So my husband and me are both fitness enthusiasts. So when I started training for marathons, he would join me sometimes. And both of us liked to run together. That was a sort of one on one time, that we started spending together. This was years back when we were actually building a home and a family. So we would just run together, we would chat, we would love just spending that time together. Then out of that, what happened? We started discussion on cases. We would brainstorm on new ideas for the clinic. And I'm telling you, some of our best decisions about our life and about our profession have come out of that time that we actually spent running together. After since the last 6 years, actually, I've been training with Pune Running. I've now do a lot of marathon running, and I have actually seen my body transform in these years of running. I have more energy also, and that has helped me get through all these busy days, multitasking. The best advantage that has happened is I've got some fabulous friends in the running community. So when lockdown also happened last year, see, the kids couldn't go out, anywhere. So, what we would do is in the evenings after we both finished our work and came back, we started doing small challenges with them. If you just tell the children ki exercise karo, they are not going to do it. So what we started doing is actually the two of us, we started doing small challenges, push ups, surya namaskar kar lo, kuch pull ups kar lo, kuch squats kar lo, skipping. Oh, my daughter loves skipping. 100 skippings she used to do, you know so this started to benefit the children physically also and mentally also. There was something to do, right? And both of us, we too used to miss our running outdoors. So you know what we started doing? We used to jog or walk briskly. Room to room, room to room. यहाँ पे right लो, sofa पे left लो, bathroom से right लेना, bed से left लो. This is what we used to do. We even did a 10-kilometer marathon in the house. You'll not believe it. The other thing very important that, my husband started doing actually. On each of these walks, he would pick up the phone and he would call either the family, a friend, or a colleague. See, all of us had become very isolated. We all had become very lonely. So this was needed emotionally for all of us. Even kids, they used to call up their grandparents, their friends, and they used to talk to them. With women, the one thing that I've seen is that we have a lot of excuses. Slide you can, when it comes to our fitness activities, hai na? Lot of excuses. But I don't blame you also. Sometimes, it's confusing. Like, what fitness activity should I do? Which is the right one for me? It's difficult to make a choice. And we are terrible, no, with choices. We are very fussy when it comes to making choices, right? So I say, try everything. There are group workouts like Zumba, say yoga, running, cycling, dancing, and nowadays there are even adventure, all women adventure, and trekking activities are there. So all you need to do is just Google your area, Google your interest, and just show up. And I'm sure you'll find like-minded women like that, or you just join an online activity class, right? A lot of fun to do any of these things. The other thing is, so the key is not to prioritize what's on your schedule, but you schedule your priority. So the other excuse, what do we make? Time ही नहीं मिलता, है ना? So if group activities are not possible na for you, do a solo activity. You can either run, you can walk, you can cycle solo. I'm telling you, cycling, running, these are like meditation literally. Or you might have to do some out of the box thinking as well to incorporate this fitness. I'll tell you one thing. So, when I used to do the morning dishes, I'm not used to doing all that. But over a period of 1.5, 2 months that I did it, my lower back was very strengthened. Niche बैठ के, when you do that pocha na, it is so good. for your pelvic and your glutes. I'm telling you. So literally, like I say, housework is like a full body workout, literally. Slide you can. So if you're staying, say, on the higher floors of a building, right? Ditch the elevator, use the stairs. Don't do it every day, but at least twice a week, thrice a week, so you can do it, na? Run up and run down those stairs. Or like me, if you're staying on ground floor, just do it as a cardio workout. It's an excellent type of workout. Now, since all of you are work from home, it may be possible for you to also walk in your society premises, right? So take out some time in the evening, call up your bestie, tell her, मिलो मुझे, गॉसिप का गॉसिप भी हो जाएगा, वॉक का वॉक भी हो जाएगा, है ना? And in between, when you're working on your laptops, try to do a few stretching exercises. Try to do neck exercises. Try to do some pranayam. They are very, very relaxing, you know. You might be getting an office break of 10 minutes. Do it at that time. See, there's something I'll tell you. A fit woman inspires a fit family, but making excuses burns no calories.
That was really insightful. I love the creative ways that you were able to make exercise in the home when there was complete lockdown and you could not even run outside. I
Yeah.
think those creative exercises about running from room to room and actually completing a marathon in that much, that was quite something, I must say.
Yeah. That was interesting.
Yes, I mean, to be able to, yes, I also did, I did try to prioritize, made yoga and breathing and, all the activity, but some of these things are quite interesting. Okay. So I think there's another very, very interesting, well, it's not a very pleasant facet, but I think there's a lot of learning to that about you, Manisha, is that I believe you were a cancer survivor. And having survived through cancer and all its treatments, how will you maintain all the positivity and still, provide that strength to yourself and to your family? I'd love.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Slide you can. So my philosophy is very simple. Let's say, I think probably I came up with it at that time. Don't worry about dying. Worry about not living. Think about it. So I strongly believe, Geeta, in the Marathi saying, वाईटातून चांगलंच होतं. This is my belief. Light at the end of the tunnel. So every negative experience that comes to us, there is some positive learning out of it. It's just up to us, how we actually see it. वाईटातून चांगलंच होतं. Don't worry about dying. Worry about not living. So when I was diagnosed with breast cancer, this was 5 years ago. I'm 5 years cancer free now. So the foremost thought that actually came to my mind at that time was, how is my family going to manage this? My kids were very young. They were 8 and 10 at that time. I actually went to the oncologist and said, I don't have time to do all this chemotherapy and all. I'm a very busy person. But once again, I took help, and I have a wonderful and supportive family, and they all just came together and they just took control. What was important was I allowed them to take that control also. Okay, I'm quite a control freak otherwise. The other thing I did was I contacted my kids' teachers and I explained the situation to them so that they would not put any schoolwork deadlines on the children. See, children have a tendency to kind of act out. They experience insecurity basically when they see that a parent is ill. So I sensitize the teachers also about this, just in case that they acted out. And I'm telling you, my daughter is a little sensitive. Her class teacher was literally a blessing in disguise for me, I'm telling you, that year. So at that time, I wasn't sure, like for my clinic, how many days I would be able to go and what would be my condition or whatever. So you know what I did? I contacted a younger colleague of mine. She's also a geneticist. So I told her, the days I won't be able to come, please come and do locum for me and look after my patients. You see my patients in the clinic. So she was thinking of actually starting a genetic laboratory in PCMC. So we just got talking at that time. Anyway, going on. And sometimes when I was in the clinic, she would also be there. So we just started talking and discussing about a genetic laboratory and, how can we collaborate with each other? Can we do something and all? And you know what happened? Those discussions culminated in the two of us starting our genetic laboratory 1 year after I finished my cancer therapy. The two of us actually are one of the few women entrepreneurs in the whole of India who were able to manage a genetic laboratory. We got a lot of fame, lot of work we did, lot of acclaim we got for our startup, and that led to a major corporate merger that we did last year actually during the pandemic itself. So वाईटातून चांगलंच होतं. This is what I mean. So we, women, see, we've got into a habit of not looking after our health. I don't know why we do it. Have you seen that Bonvita ad actually? The one that released on Women's Day. So, all the women who are shopping na, in that line, so they have bought something or the other for everybody. So somebody has bought, something for my father has blood pressure, my husband has got cholesterol, my son has got a sweet tooth, my husband wants to start doing yoga. So, so for the entire family, they shop and they buy something or the other. But for themselves, and that is what the ad was about. Ki, ma'am, what about yourself? You shop for your family. What about yourself? So that's usually what happens with us. So what I did was that this cancer actually made me think about my physical health and along with that my emotional well-being also, and I worked on both. So I took chemotherapy, radiotherapy for my physical health, but I also took mind body sessions, and they were really therapeutic, I'm telling you. The other thing, what happened was I was missing running. So I asked my oncologist, I said, sir, can I do like, light exercises or running, jogging, whatever? And he was excellent, very, very supportive towards me. So I used to do physiotherapy anyways. I had to do it because I had had major surgery. So the other thing that I started doing was I started walking in the parking of my housing society because, I didn't want to come out and people see me. I started losing hair. So my appearance was different. So I used to kind of do that. Then, what happened one day is my husband said that, would you like to go for a jog? I was unsure. I don't know whether I would be able to do it or not. But I managed. I managed a 2 kilometer run that day. We have what is known as muscle memory actually. So your muscles actually remember the physical activity that you do. So I did that 2 kilometer run and it was amazing. I felt so good, I tell you. So that year, I actually became a Pinkathon ambassador with encouragement from none other than Mr. Milind Soman. He's such an icon, you know. And I did the Shiro, I led the Shiro trek actually that day, which is done for cancer survivors. He does a lot of work for cancer. I was very lucky that I had the Pune running group with me. So they would accompany me on all these marathons that I did when I was undergoing therapy, small runs, large runs, whatever. I'm really grateful, to them and my mind body healer because it was because of them that I got so much confidence and that running really helped me, it kept me motivated throughout that treatment. See, the other thing that I did was, I come from a family of writers and poets. My aunt is a writer. Most of them are writers and poets. But, with our medical career, studies, and everything, we're not able to actually explore that creative side of ours. So, what I did was, I used to, sit on my sofa at long hours with nothing to do. So, what I started doing was, I started writing a blog. And I'm telling you, it was as if those words were just waiting to gush out of my brain. Even today when I read, sometimes I feel that it is, it's such inspired writing. It was probably not me, someone else or something else inside me was actually doing the writing. It's so fantastic when I read it also. And my husband actually collected all my works. And after my therapy was over, he compiled it into a book. We did kind of a book release with all of the people who were with me during my cancer journey. So that's why I say वाईटातून चांगलंच होतं.
Wow, I mean, I'm not I'm not surprised that you finally were able to write a book out of that whole thing, because it's it's quite unbelievable how when a lot of people feel self pity, they go inward and they're not able to pull themselves out. You were able to discover new facets to yourself, and not just that, to take them to a very meaningful height. And I think that is something which is really inspiring, Manisha. Extremely admirable and extremely inspiring. Uh, there is just one quick question for people who have been have actually stopped their fitness journeys in this last 1 year. And do you have a quick feedback for them, because we're almost running out of time? To
Yeah,
how to
just to, yeah,
how do you restart that journey?
start slow. I say take one step at a time. Start slow. I've given you so many tips today. Start with a walk in your housing society with your bestie. That's the best way to start off your fitness journey. I'm telling you. Don't overthink. Don't think. Don't compare yourself. Just start slow. Listen to your body. That's very important. Do what makes you happy. Do what is easy. Do what is possible for you. Don't keep unrealistic goals. Start small. Take it one step at a time.
Wow, thanks so much for these insights, Manisha, because I think not just the aspect of balancing different roles, but even more so at a time like last year, when all roles, all spaces, all challenges merged into one, and they became so much more. Because earlier there were avenues to de-stress. You could move from one space to another and adopt a different garb to yourself. But I think this is quite insightful. In fact, it showed up in studies, not just in India, but across the world, that it had huge problems on the mental, emotional aspects, which led to stress, which led to health problems even further. There were issues of domestic violence, there were issues of work stress, people losing their jobs because they could not balance. And so, therefore, I think summing up the entire, I mean, there are so many different angles to your talk, but one of the main takeaways for me is that as women who have multiple responsibilities, it is very important to remember that announcement in the airline, that first put on your own mask and then assist others, because we like to take the nurturing role to its different heights. Thank you so much for
Thank
sharing
you.
these insights, small aspects of your regime to larger aspects, so we can focus on self-care to bring about a complete balance to our lives. And thanks for all the participants. I think for attending the session. It really makes it meaningful to be able to spread a good word. And our next session will be there 2 weeks from now, Thursday, 29th of July. The same day, same time, 6:30 to 7. And we will have Sajida Bagwan, who is a sports coach, a counselor, and a fitness consultant, who will be talking to us about how sports skills lead to life skills. So we look forward to your participation. Thank you so much once again. And do share your feedback and any other topics that you would like us to address. And any other questions that you might have for Manisha, please send us on an email. We'll approach her to answer them for us. Look forward to seeing you all the next time.